Hello, hello, sweet pilgrims. It is week number 2. This is day 10, and we begin our touchstone number 1 today. So, as you are arriving, I invite you to take a few moments and make sure that you're really here in all those sweet and important ways. Make sure that you've got yourself set up so that you can be comfortable for our time together today. Make sure that you have your notebook or your journal and a cup of tea if that moves you, if that helps you in any way. Put your device on do not disturb. Britt, talking to you too, just did that. Very good. So all those little things that we do to prepare ourselves, just a little reminder. If you're thirsty, grab something to drink. If you kind of got to go potty, right? Run off and take care of those details. If you are hungry, you can grab a snack. Make sure you have your journal handy with you, all of those things. So I'm welcoming you, and I am welcoming you back. I'm welcoming you back again and again, no matter how many times you fall off the ethereal wagon. I'm just going to be right here saying, I've been waiting for you, and you're going to be right back here with us. So just a reminder, today is our day number 10, 2 hands, 10 fingers. It is our very beautiful and glorious launching into the actual touchstones. And I am with you here in our yet unnamed retreat center, home and retreat center in Guanajuato, Mexico. I do have a hunch this will be my forever home where I will host all sorts of beautiful souls. Any of you, of course, welcome to join us here on retreat to fulfill a dream that I'll say more about as time goes on. I will say I'm outdoors right now. I'm sitting outside and it could rain. I realized I started a load of laundry that I can hear here, so maybe you can hear that too. Our sweet Karen is packing, and we might hear a garage door open because our sweet Larry is coming back from getting all things ready to get the car registered over to me. He's off taking care of those details. So we're all just right here today. And I am so grateful that you are here. I'm so honored to walk with you. Day 10, touchstone number 1, move my body, week number 2. I'm going to just remind us what a touchstone is in a few moments. But again, I just want to ground us, hold your own weight vertically, close any doors if you have that blessing to be able to really take this time for yourself, and have your journal ready. Run and go potty, grab a quick cup of tea or water, whatever you need in order to be really present. This is live stream and it's recorded. I see Patty and Jen and and Denise and Carrie and Valerie and Des. All these beautiful souls showing up here. And Facebook users, I hear I made it Facebook user. I don't know who that is. So you have to give StreamYard permissions to show your name. And then you probably need to restart Facebook is probably my guess what's going on there. So just saying hello to all of you as we launch into our satsang, our review, if you will, our community connection around these teachings, and then our Q&A. And I've got some really sweet little questions that have come in. And there's Pam. Hello, beautifuls. Hello to all of you. Okay, so we come together in our student teacher prayer. This is our reminder that we are walking together and learning together and growing together and showing up together, and sometimes walking through fire together, sometimes walking through other stuff, HE double toothpicks together, whatever it may be. We're just here to remember that our objective is to see the best in one another. Our objective is to love ourselves in the presence of one another best we're able. And sometimes when we can't, we just say that I'm not doing a great job of loving myself right now. Could you love me? Or could you remind me that I am love? Better yet, because then it once again comes in and through each of us. So I'm going to keep closing my eyes because this is that strange thing. If you didn't catch it last week, I'm just not accustomed to being on video for this. I'm accustomed to being audio. And so it really comes through me. So you're just going to get it just that way. As you flare your nostrils and lift the corners of your lips, we bring our hands together at our heart center and we take the student teacher prayer in call and response. We send the breath down and out the body on the exhale, inhaling in and up through the body. Om, Om, Sahana, Sahana, Vavatu, Vavatu, Sahanao, Sahanao, Bhunaktu, Bhunaktu, Saha, Saha, Viryam, Viryam, Karababahai, Karababahai, Tejasvi, Tejasvi, Navadhitam, Navadhitam, Astu, Astu, Mavidvisha, Mavidvisha, Vahai, Vahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May we work together, may we play together, may we practice living our yoga together. And if and when we bump into each other and there is heat or there is friction or there is lack of understanding, may we turn ourselves once again to remember that I don't want to be hurt, you don't want to be hurt, nobody wants to be hurt. May we remember that we are the yoga, that we access by practicing and living yoga, that we are one and the same in and through all of it, that there is no other. How do we love each other? How do we love each other? There is no other. We just love. Today, as we move into our first touchstone, I remind us what a touchstone is first. And a touchstone is that piece of stone that you rub a precious metal up against to reveal its brilliance. And so here we are together. We're rubbing up against Move My Body this week. We're moving our bodies. And then in this way, what comes to us, what comes in and through us is this awareness that we are the brilliance that we seek, that already we are whole, holy enough as is. And when that voice from deep within comes forth and speaks of truth, we remember choice, not chore. So we come together right here. Anytime you've got questions, anytime you've got like aha moments, you just go ahead and put those right there over in the comments, and I'll just circle back to those again. I'm seeing you, Mary's saying, loving the picture of the flowers. Picture of the flowers. Beloved, these are flowers. Oh, picture. I was like, wow, maybe it's because there's a frame there and it looks like they're okay there. I was like, wow. So you can you see though? It's really cool. You can see the reflections of the clouds in the window. It's pretty sweet. Anyway, no distractions. Have my angle all set up here. So grateful to have you here. Hi, Erin, and hi, Mary. Hi, Malia. Hi, Sarah and Pam. Good morning, Jen. Good morning. Good afternoon, Jen. Good afternoon, Denise and Patty. There you are. Carrie McGill, Valerie, Des. Good morning to say good morning. So we always come here in the morning and it's not morning time right now. Okay. So we sit tall, we breathe, we remember. Move my body. This is that reminder that there's all these different ways that we get to move our body ever so simply. I just gave you 3 options, but there's a million more. You choose them. Number 1, practice your yoga. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Practice yoga like a cat or a dog, or like your grandma, or you're the grandma, never you mind. Or you turn the volume up on the practices, the asanas that I give you. You turn the volume down. That works too. Or you just find your way over to YouTube, and you do a little search with a few words. All these things, all these little tips and keys are right there for you in your lessons for this week, in the audio lessons, and they're coming just in those little bite-sized pieces. So we just simply remember how deeply we are able to touch into our own hearts here. We flare our nostrils and lift the corners of our lips. And we remember that these bodies, we start with the physical body because it is the vehicle that carries the other bodies, the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body. I'm just right here loving you. Carrie Roberts, I hope you're getting into this, because for some reason there should not be a live video ending. Are you there with us? Hopefully you find your way back. Yeah, log on out and try and come on back. I'm going to go ahead right now and just drop something else in the comments just to make sure we get this clear. In the event that something crazy happened here, I just want to make sure that you gain access. Hang with me. All right, I'm going to drop both of these in here, depending upon where you're coming. There you go. Good, you're back. Okay, perfect. All right. So there's 2 links here right now, just in case that happens to any of you. You can always get in from Facebook, and you can always get in from YouTube as well. If you ever get lost and sort of waylaid, remember that you can just go to YouTube, and I'd love to have you subscribe to my channel. And then on the bottom on the right, there's a bell. So anytime there's anything new coming your way, anytime we do any of our pop-up classes that are coming, as those start to show up, you're going to get a little notification that I'm live or that I'm coming live, and you're going to know about that. Also, in addition to that, if you ever get lost in the Facebook world and you want to come just to the YouTube, you can just jump right in there as well, because you're following me and able to access the content that's available. So as we come together, I'm just reminding you also that we do our very best to hold our hearts and our bodies lightly on this journey. We don't ask too much of ourselves along the way. We hold each other and ourselves in mutual honor and in mutual respect. We're gentle. And when in doubt, we're gentle. The whole practice of ahimsa, non-harming, means that however it is that I'm going to show up, I'm just going to show up. And however it is that I show up, I'm just going to love how I show up. Both and. So just knowing that that's all here for us. We hold our truths and our experiences as so sacred, it's like you're holding a baby bird in your hand. Right? We remember that we are vulnerable. That we are all vulnerable. And I know you're grown women, and Mark, because Mark's on this journey with us. There's a few others, but Mark's the one who shows up by name most frequently. So you're grown women and men on this journey. And I just want to remind us that I also know that there's a sweet little kid in every single heart. And I want to be loved. I, Britt, want to be loved. And I want to love you. And so when I feel like I've let you down, or I've shown up in a way that somehow triggers something from kindergarten class, when no, that's not the right answer, but good job, Jimmy, you did it. You said it. Good job, Carrie. Britt missed it, but you got it. When that happens, and it happens because we're human and we're messy and we're just little kids in there. We want to love each other through it. So when you fall off the wagon, it's all right to come right on back. When you show your pictures on Facebook, And you go, oh, or you see all these pictures and you go, oh my gosh, her house, her yoga practice, oh, her studio, her meditation space, her altar. Oh, look, it's so beautiful. I can't possibly. I say, that's exactly the time that you ought to. All these dogs are telling you so, the Mexican street dogs. All right here. So we hold ourselves sacred and we hold ourselves gently like a baby bird in the hand. We're all just little baby birds holding each other gently and kindly as we walk. When we sit here right now and we think back upon where we've been in that first week already and showing up for the morning sankalpas and being here today for our satsang, our community connection and gathering. We also hold ourselves gently and sacredly by saying whatever happened last week or didn't happen last week, whatever I did or didn't do, whatever I have this story about having done right or having not done right at all. We let that all go now and we just start fresh right here, right now, always and in all ways. Holding our hearts and holding each other's hearts gently, reflecting and continually practicing svadhyaya, that self-study. I just keep looking back on myself and sharing my experience, what's working for me, what's not working for me. If you want differently, if you want this journey already to be different somehow, bring different, do it differently. You want a different outcome, do it differently. I've given you all the freedom in the world, right? Now, here's the thing that happens. Like if we were all dancing together in a room and I put a piece of music on and I said, let's just dance. Some of you know this about me. Let's just dance. Let's move about. And you can follow your hands and follow your butt cheeks and look down and look up and shake your head and go this way and that way. Many of you, perhaps most of you, would somehow find your way just moving in a circle, kind of following the leader. Why? Because it's so deeply ingrained that we do that. It happened from the very start of any sort of education. And so it happens again. I'm here to say, don't follow the leader. You are the leader. Keep moving into the space around you. Wherever there's space, wherever you feel freedom, wherever you find yourself relaxing, that's where you go. I can absolutely guarantee that if you show up on this journey every single day, you will be changed. No doubt. How you show up, how much you show up, the way in which you show up, that's yours. Remember, I'm the third teacher, whether I'm standing in front of you on a yoga mat in my Lululemons or I'm sitting right here. I'm just right here to say and to remind you again and again that your first teacher is yourself. Your second teacher is the teaching, whatever it is. And the third teacher, oh, that's me. Yep, that means I'm in the back seat. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm seeing your question, Pam, and it's thank you for saying this is a sincere and respectful question, and I'm going to come right on back to you. So we move through life actively calm and calmly active, best as we're able. We're following the ways in which that we fill ourselves with the tiny little things that make a difference. We let go of one little thing that's not working so well for us. We nurture ourselves best that we're able. We keep the pilgrim's practice alive, which means anything that you've come across thus far on the journey, if it's working for you, keep doing it. Keep doing it. The little recordings of lessons at the beginning of each module, each week, those recordings are going to move you. They're going to shift you. They're tiny little sound bites. 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, I think is the longest one. They are like a meditation. They're rich with content and they're there for you. A few reminders thus far as we walk together that we're taking baby steps, that when 2 or more of us gather, there's great impact that comes in and through us, that we keep finding this same time, same place, this ritual, that we seek the simplicity, that we follow sweet simplicity again and again, that the real teacher is not person nor personality, it is the teaching itself. that we move slowly and steadily and certainly, that we seek the sacred in all things. And then there's today, if you remember. Today is that my life is not in the way, my life is the way. I want to remind us one other thing before moving into the fullness of the questions. Comparison and competition will destroy cellular intelligence. You want to keep turning yourself back again and again to what's going on here, what liberates you, what gives you more energy. You are the only one you need to be turning to, beloved. I'm offering you tools and jewels. You get to pick from those and choose from those. Caroline Barnes, I am loving you. And I think that's who's right there with us. She said, Caroline says, I'm so sorry for my response to Sonia's comment this morning. I'm going to tell you what, this is so beautiful. I am so grateful for your response this morning. And I'm so grateful for your sweet and open and compassionate heart. Right? I want to really touch on this, and I'm going to come back to this because that's where it's so tender. And I want to use this as the greatest teaching moment that I can, because it is so tender and we are so vulnerable and we all want to be loved and we all want to do the right thing. And the truth is we can't always do it just perfect and right. And if you knew everything, if you knew how to do everything and you knew everything already, there'd be absolutely no reason for you to ever be in this program. You'd be enlightened. So we're just right here. How am I compassionate with myself? I love you so much, Caroline. You are so beautiful. You don't know how beautiful you are. So I'm going to come back to this. All righty. This is so huge. Okay, questions. Let's see what we got here. Oh, so beautiful. How do I schedule everything that I want? This is a sincere and respectful question. How do I schedule everything that I want? Number one, you probably don't. That's my first answer. You probably don't. And you start with two things. Here's the question I ask myself when I'm making a decision. I say to myself, what is the one thing I can do that's going to make the greatest and most positive impact in my life? And how can I do more of that? Because what I find to be true is the more that I do of the things that I love and the things that move me and shift me and change me and free me and energize me and release me, the more I do of those things, the better off I am. It is a big fat lie that we have to do 1,000 things. How's that? It is absolutely not true that you have to do everything or that you have to do a lot of things. You find the one thing that makes the greatest impact and you commit to that. Then when that feels like it's easy, not just simple, because it's simple to drink a glass of water, but is it easy? Not in this world. We're forgetting, or we're out places where there is no water and you don't want to buy water, or you get busy, or whatever it is. You consumed, you forget. It's simple, but it's not always easy. So how is it that we just keep doing one thing until we embody it? And then you pick the next lowest hanging fruit. Choose something else that's easy, but it's going to make a big difference. So here's an example for me. The one for me that is super duper huge is physical movement, cardiovascular activity. Why is it so incredibly important? Cardiovascular activity is so incredibly important because it is absolutely the best antidepressant on the planet. It has 0 side effects, none. So anytime, one of two things, anytime I start to feel wonky, tired, my skin feels weird, my digestion goes funky, I'm emotional, I do one of two things, and I hope to do both. I increase my water intake and I do cardiovascular activity. Those are my anchors. Now, yoga, living my yoga is for sure a huge part of my life, and practicing yoga is hugely a part of my life. But I know in my bones and in my blood that the power of my breath is yoga. And so if I'm out going for a long walk or a hike or getting that cardiovascular activity, however it looks, and getting in nature, it's going to make a huge difference. So to answer your question best I can, Pam, I'm going to say, how do I schedule everything I want? Number one, maybe you don't. Maybe you just look at what it is that makes the greatest impact. What is going to be the one thing that you can add to your life that's going to make the greatest and most positive impact in your life? And how do I do more of that? Then the error that we often make is we say, I want to start living better. And so what we do is we create a plan for ourselves right out of the gate. I'm here to say that that actually isn't the best approach. Research tells us, the experts tell us that, and yoga tells us that we turn ourselves to the practices. It's not about planning. It's looking at what's not working, using Svadhyaya, self-study, looking at what's working and what's not working, noticing what's not working and getting rid of that. Drinking coffee, not working for me, get rid of it. Drinking wine, not working for me, get rid of it. Yelling, not working for me, get rid of it. Hanging out on Instagram, not working for me, get rid of it. Hanging out with that one neighbor, get rid of it. What's that thing that people used to do? Bunko. Bunko, I don't know if people do bunko anymore, but some of you know what bunko is, I think. Bunko not working for you, get rid of it. Volunteering on this committee, get rid of it. Then there's space. Then you time chunk. You time chunk. You look at what you have for time and energy, and you do what you can to keep filling your life with the higher things and let that which doesn't serve you fall away. So I hope that helps speak to the question. Aha. There it is. Okay. Next. Moving on to our sweet next one here. Next question. Okay, I'm going to circle back to a question that came previously. Very good, Pam. I'm glad that worked for you. I'm going to circle back to a question that came today in email. And that is, okay. So in the morning Sankalpa, just sort of loosely, I spoke to how much love there is in the walls. And I made a reference to rituals that are needed if you've inherited someone's possessions, artifacts from a deceased ancestor, jewelry or stones or clothing, right? Things of that nature. And one of the things that came up from one of the pilgrims is that that when I spoke of that, immediately an element of fear came over her. And what I want to offer is that there's absolutely nothing worth taking away your happy. So number one, just to step back, we are material beings. This material body is made up of the same thing that the cosmos are made up of. Okay. So my physical body is made up of the exact same thing that the cosmos are made up of. Now, because of that, anything in material existence is made up of the same aspects of the cosmos. And whatever it's close to, we are like tofu. Stones are like tofu. Material things are like tofu. You know it, right? I bring garlic, which is a material existence, manifestation, into this material existence, and what happens? Who smells like garlic? I do, right? Right? Our bodies absorb the essence of whatever it is that we bring in. So a stone, for example, so a Vedic stone, this is medicine. This is a white sapphire, it's medicine. The stone actually is there to touch my skin because it holds vibrational qualities. It's associated with a particular planet and holds vibrational qualities that I want to manifest in my life. Right? This was placed on my hand on a Thursday during a ritual in India, and it's been on my hand a lot since then, almost always. Now, if this ring was placed on the hand of my grandmother, she would infuse her garlicky life existence into that stone. There's nothing woo-woo or satanic or evil spirity about it. It's not even about that. It doesn't have to be anything about that. It's just that our bodies hold life experiences. Every body holds karma. It holds life experiences. It holds an energy of anxiety, of joy, of peacefulness, of neediness, of expression, like whatever it is, we hold these things. And we want to do everything in our power to surround ourselves with that which is our very own. So, for example, when you inherit clothing from someone who has died, especially if they've died slowly, like if they've died of cancer or something of that nature, or if they've died of aging, right, old age, because we don't die like that unless you're in a car accident or something like that, right? We generally die very slowly. I'm dying every day. I'm closer to death every day. My clothes hold that energy. You can't see it. You can't measure it. But through the yogic tradition, my clothes hold an energy. Now I give my clothes to my sister, and it helps her feel close to me. And it'd be much better for her to purify those things ahead of time. It's just an option. It's just an option on the yogic path. You purify those items so that they're neutral and they return to their sort of cosmic makeup. Like a stone is just a stone that is a conglomeration of the essential energies and elements of the planet from which it's come, or the planet from which it's most associated. And then you use that energy, you use that to help remind you, and it comes to you and helps guide you in a certain way. It's a material existence is magnets. Is all material existences, manifestations are like magnets, holding it all together. So I want to keep this life, I laugh, giggle for myself. I want to keep this life, this body, everything that I got going on right here as clean and true as pure as I possibly can. Right? I just don't want to have a whole bunch of nonsense going on in any way. I want to do everything that I can to be right here, totally present, clear, right? I don't anymore want to see the world through another person's eyes, except when I'm doing that to try it on, any more than I want to see the world through another person's clothing or life experiences. Wedding rings are a great example. Purify that baby, right? Because relationship is hard enough as it is, huh? Mm-hmm. So thank you for that really rich and beautiful question. I hope that speaks to you some and helps you. All right. What I've learned about walking the path of pilgrim over the years is, for me, the awakening, the transformation has happened over 6 years. It's a journey for me, right? Over 30. Absolutely. It just keeps getting better and better and better. That's what I have to say about that. Carrie said, I sadly have to bow out. I have a very choppy connection. Aw, the rest of you, are you getting a funky connection? Oy. I'll be back to listen to the recording. Have a lovely day. Sweet love. I'm so sorry, Carrie. Yeah, when that happens, make sure that you like get all the way out and come right back on in. I'd love to know if you're getting other things. Yes, exactly. Good. Perfectly clear here. Very strong connection here. Huh. Well, I'm good to hear that. And I'm sorry for Carrie. That's a drag. No clear, meaning no. Des says no clear. Does that mean it's good? My connection is sound. Okay. So connections are good. Something else is funky's going on. So bring me your other questions. Bring me your questions. You're tired. You're weary. Bring me your questions. And while you're doing that, Lisa Erickson says, I moved my body doing yoga, squeezed beside mountain bikes and RVs this morning just outside Yosemite. I heard you say that this morning you're in Yosemite. I always feel better with movement, especially on my yoga mat. There you go. So you know that about you. That's beautiful. Perfect clarity. Okay, good. Well, we're just wishing Carrie, when she comes back, that she gets a good, strong connection. All right. So I'm going to circle back. If you have any other questions, anything else, anything about movement, anything about yoga practices, anything about what you're experiencing in Pilgrim thus far, please tell me what's working for you. Please tell me what you're loving. Please tell me what you're noticing. This is it. Come here if you're multitasking. Come here. If you're multitasking, come back here. What I want to know from your sweet and beautiful soul is what is touching you deeply about this journey, and what are you hungry for? Because when you show up and you tell me that, guess what? I'm going to deliver. That's what I promise you. That's what I promise you. Des says not to compare, right? Because we know what that does. Comparison and competition destroys cellular intelligence. But I want to be in Yosemite, right? Okay, I'm going to tell you something. This is perfect. Thank you, Des. So my teacher Swamiji always says human beings have a mantra. You know what the mantra is for humans? Like every human being on the planet has the same mantra. I want. What we want is constantly changing. That we want never changes. So thank you for that, Des. Okay, I'm going to come back to this because I'm just going to take a moment here because I'm just loving so much Caroline's heart. So what happened this morning was absolutely beautiful. And when we're growing, when big emotions come, it means we're growing. It means we are at a choice point. We are at a crossroads where we're going to learn something beautiful about ourselves. So may we know this in and through. So this morning, one pilgrim said that they were feeling a certain way. Another pilgrim, could have been any of us, was certainly me in the past. Another pilgrim said, I'm just going to make it up. Breathe into the experience. Just let it go. Now, that's not what she said, but she said something from her heart to help ease the first pilgrim's suffering. Now, all of it's beautiful. The one who is suffering, the sharing of her suffering is beautiful. The one who is wanting to help support the alleviation of that suffering, it's beautiful. I came in and said, let's circle ourselves back to sharing our own personal experiences rather than offering what someone else ought to do. Now, I'm going to step back further on this because Caroline, I know you, I love you, I trust you, you know me, you know where my heart is. And I tell you all of this because I see your resilience and I know you can handle this. So you gave me the perfect opportunity to speak to something that is super important. And the reason this is super extra important is because as teachers and healers, And as go-getters and as being successful ones, we have a fix-it mentality. We put other people first. It's common. This journey is a personal, practical pilgrimage. This journey is all about you, entirely and completely. I want it no other way. And my job is to continue to create a container where everyone is getting a beautiful reflection of themselves in and through the journey of pilgrim. So that was so tiny this morning. That was so tiny. And the significance of it is when that goes down big ways, and you've all been in these communities or sitting around a table or online where someone goes, well, why don't you do this and that and da-da-da-da. And it's like, I didn't say all these things so you could give me your advice. I wasn't asking for advice, which isn't what happened this morning. But it's an example, because it's the tiny little things that matter. Everything is yoga. How I do anything is how I do everything. How I do anything is how I do everything. And so again, I'm going to say everything's whole and perfect. And Caroline, I want to just say, oh, you're so awesome, because because then you come back today and you say, I'm so sorry for my response. And I love that. I love that. You like, oh, do I feel your heart? I have been in that place where my heart was in the right place. Your heart was in the right place. It is in the right place, beyond the shadow of a doubt. And I don't want this to slow anybody down from doing anything. I'm just saying, I'm here to hold a container, and I'm going to hold that container, and that container is for us to keep turning our attention on ourselves. Because what happens sometimes is the yoga teachers jump in and want to teach yoga. And how do I know it? Because I'm a yoga teacher, and because I've done that a lot in other people's trainings in years past. And I don't have any problem about, I just want you to get the most out of it. And you're going to get the most out of it when you share your personal experience and when you practice Svadhyaya, self-study, again and again and again. And then you come forth from that place and you keep showing up from that place. Because when there's struggle in your life and in marriage and in your relationship and with the guy at the gas station and with somebody who overcharged you or whatever it is, you want to be able to go right back into yourself and say, this is what's right and true for me. I know this because I practiced it 1,000 times before. And it isn't, I'm so sorry, but I have to ask you, did you charge me enough? Did you overcharge me? I think maybe I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a bother. I'm going through that experience right now. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going through that experience with the moving company because their contracts are not clear. And I've worked with this moving company before, and my experience with them was very shoddy, but they're the only moving company. So I get an email this morning after asking a few questions. I get an email that says, I told you this already. If you want to, this is how we can do it. And if you need to look for another company, just let us know. And immediately I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? And then I went, nothing. Nothing. So I just came back and I said, my apologies. I'm having a difficult time understanding the contract as you've written it. Because that's true. My apology is that there's confusion here. I'm sorry. Not that it's my fault, but I'm sorry. It's a drag that there's confusion here. So I offer that and express it and say, I just want to be clear about the contract and make sure I understand well before I sign and pray. That was it. So then, this is human messiness. She's got her baggage and her stuff, and her sharp voice comes out like this, and I got my stuff, and oh, I was too much before. Maybe I'm too much. None of that, right? So living yoga, whole, holy, enough as is. And when that voice from deep within comes forth and speaks of truth, I just keep bringing myself back to the glory, to the wisdom, to the breath, again and again and again. Okay. I have a dying relative. I need to be with her on a daily basis to feed and care for her. She was not a kind person. She struggled with mental illness and she was very difficult to be around most of the time. We had boundaries when she was not able to protect ourselves from her energy. Okay, I will tell you what I would do in this situation. So this is a big one, right? Yoga. She was not a kind person. She struggled with mental illness and she was very difficult to be around most of the time. We had boundaries when she was not ill. Protect ourselves from her energy. Her dying days are just as difficult for us, but we can't have those boundaries, which was our way to empty. Okay, so through the yogic lens, boundaries are not a way to empty. Boundaries are a way to stop it from entering. Your practice now is to empty, meaning whatever comes, she's doing what she has the capacity to do. It comes in, and then you create a ritual for emptying. Maybe you consciously shower every single day and rub your hands together and wash down your body. Like wash it off, wipe it off. Maybe it's like crazy, right? Sounds waking up the neighbor dogs. So boundaries are not a way of emptying. Boundaries are a way of resisting the entering, which is okay, right? Boundaries are necessary until they're not. What we're talking about now is now that it is entering because you're caring for this dying individual, receiving it as compassionately as you can, not mine, not mine, not mine. It comes in, not mine, not mine. Love and serve, love and serve. This is, right, God in drag. This person is God in drag. This person is God in drag. Love and serve, love and serve, love and serve. You finish your shift caring for the person and you create ritual to release, right? That's what I offer for that. Maybe this might be rocking my husband's world a bit, but I'm staying true. It's all good and it will be. Janet, I love that. So yes, rocking your husband's world a bit. It does. It does. It does. We don't get standing ovations when we start making big changes. The work in that, I find, is not, and I haven't done this beautifully my whole life, let me just tell you, is to not make the other person wrong. If they choose not to change, there's nothing wrong here, right? If they choose not to change, there's nothing wrong here. If they put pressure on us, think about being puppies in a puppy pile. If somebody puts pressure on us because they don't like the shift we've just made, you get to choose. Shift away, shift sideways. If we move toward, there's going to be conflict. You decide, is that conflict the fire and the heat that you need, or excuse me, the friction, the heat and the pressure. I always get these mixed up. The heat and the pressure that is needed in order for something to move. Because sometimes heat and pressure are what are required to blow open new pathways, new ways of being. Or do you step back and keep tending to yourself? So when there's conflict in my relationship with my partner, I'll tell you the whole truth. When there's conflict in my relationship with my partner, one of the things I've come to learn is I step away from the conflict. I used to never do that. I step away. I used to say, we're going to talk about this. Like, let's talk about this. No, that's not, it's not right. Can't you see? Blah, 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 blah. I step back and I go and fortify myself. I get a massage. I go for a walk in the park. I go call a friend and see if she wants to go for a walk. That's what I do. And then I come back and he's like, what's up? And I'm like, nah, I feel great. And the clearer I keep getting, the more that I nourish and feed and fuel myself, the more that I find the yoga within my own heart, the more that I'm able to take that wisdom and those teachings in and through my own heart and let them and allow them and support all that is in order to make manifest goodness and spaciousness in our relationship and in my own heart. Okay, I think that is it, beloveds. Let's see if there's anything else. What is touching me most deeply is the practice within, Pilgrim. I'm staying true to it. I'm digging my feet in and working the process between my movement, meditation, the consistency of the daily offerings. Beautiful work, Janet. We are driving in traffic outside. Merced now, if this makes it better for anyone. All right, outside of it. Driving and listening. It's all very clear. Perfect. Soaking up the goodness. It's better than chocolate. Sweet Kristen, thank you. I'm loving how seamlessly I can dip in and out of this program. The portals and the potions of content are so facilitating this journey. Self-compassion and vulnerability and community. Carrie, perfect. Refining my schedule is touching me very, very empowering and challenging. I need to recenter. Pilgrim centers me. So true. So true. I want. I want. All right, beloveds, what else we got here? Anything else? Good to hear this, for it's what I've been doing, stepping back or aside and staying as positive within. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Yep. I love you. You are love. I just want to wrap our sweet pilgrim hearts around Sonia and Caroline and Pam and Janet and Des and Valerie. Just some names that I just am feeling. Catherine. And Lindsay's not a pilgrim with us, but her daughter, Lindsay, wrapping our hearts around her. If there's anyone in your heart that in your life who needs a little bit of extra love, a little bit of extra, you got this, and you're good and you're golden just as you are. We offer our sweet presence to them as well. Pilgrim, this is who I am beneath masks and hats and history. I am whole, holy, enough as is. And when this voice from deep within comes forth and speaks of truth, there is a knowing that bubbles, rises, and reveals each day, each moment as choice, not chore. This revelation is laced with potential and possibility, illuminating me as pilgrim of light, shedding rays of curiosity and willingness to see through the darkness, to see into the likes of confusion, loss, or sideway emotion, to gracefully, softly hold myself in sacred conversation. And so I journey inward past the right and wrong of it, past the illusion of limitation. I know in this limited body that I am not that. I'm not this. For I am that, all that. And I know how to shine this mirror. I know how to pan for this gold. I know how to mine this preciousness. I know that all that wants to live through me must come through the temple doors. Whoop. I know that my offering of service, my light shines through me from a source of brilliance much greater than my softly lit imaginings. And I know better than to exorcise the demons, for the risk of driving out the angels is much too great to bear in one holy life. I walk barefoot, toes spread, soul upon this earth, touching and being the healer, the healed, the healing, being the breath, the breather, the one being breathed. I stand in this body tall, rooted and upward reaching, blooming forth and bestowing flower, then fruit, then seed to soil. I am divine, abalone dream, turning head and catching breath. I laugh, oh how I laugh, as I source my body, my bones, my blood as bread, as dancer, as slave for all who need a slave. I need not tell you, but I will. that this whisper comes from a source beyond, a voice beyond, extraterrestrial, intracellular. And I hear you. I see you. For I am you. And I thank you. We close our practice today with Om Purnamida Purnamida. Sending the breath down and out the body, inhaling to the crown of the head. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamavevashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Thank you. I love you. Sweet day and afternoon and evening to all of you. We'll see you in the morning, day 11. Love you. I'm right here.